What is up, ladies and gents? In today's video, we're going to be talking all about Hedera. We're going to be going over some of the recent news here in Hedera and the crypto market in general. We're going to be talking about the price action Hedera and where we think the price is going to over the next few days and into 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to the channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you all here. So diving straight into this video because there's a lot going on today. Of course, first and foremost, happening right now is this crypto summit. There's going to be a lot discussed within this crypto summit, some of which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Of course, earlier today as well, we saw the establishment of the strategic Bitcoin reserve and the separation of this Bitcoin reserve with a digital asset stockpile. So essentially, what you guys need to know from this executive order that happened earlier today is that basically the reserve is created using the Bitcoin that the US has seized earlier on. And apparently that's roughly 200,000 Bitcoin, which is valued at $19 billion. Of course, the government can acquire more Bitcoin if they wish into this strategic reserve. They just cannot use taxpayer dollars for it. And of course, in here as well, it says that they're not allowed to sell their Bitcoin. So that, in my opinion, is extremely bullish. It's basically the same as reducing the supply here of Bitcoin. And given the fact that they have signed this strategic Bitcoin reserve, sets a precedent for the whole world. All of a sudden now we're going to see other countries possibly contemplating the fact that they're also going to be creating their own strategic Bitcoin reserves. We've already got some in Bhutan, for example. El Salvador, as we know, has their strategic Bitcoin reserve. And now we might see other countries starting to create their own as well. So that, in my opinion, is going to be very bullish for Bitcoin. Of course, the US is lucky because they have enough Bitcoin for their strategic reserve. But think about all the countries that don't own any Bitcoin there. The only way for them to get Bitcoin is to buy it off the open market. And of course, if Bitcoin's going to be bullish, that's also going to affect altcoins like Hedera very, very positively. So this news is good news in my opinion. Of course, the digital asset stockpile is a little bit different. It's only going to be created using funds that have been seized. They don't look to acquire digital assets, just using ones that have been seized. So there's a difference between the strategic Bitcoin reserve and the digital asset stockpile. Of course, for Hedera, there's also some really, really good news as well. First and foremost, we've seen a partnership between the Swift global payment system and Hedera. Of course, this news article suggests that that is a $150 trillion market. Of course, that's the volume of the global trade that Hedera could capture with this potential partnership. How much value it actually captures into its price is obviously down for speculation. We will not know that, but it is a massive, massive opportunity. Of course, Hedera has the correct level of tech to be able to take this on, and that's why Hedera was chosen for this task. Not many other cryptocurrencies can say that as well. So that's a massive, massive good point for Hedera. Of course, on top of that as well, Hedera has had a few more ETFs filed for it, the most recent being the Grayscale ETF. Of course, the SEC has 45 days to review these filings. If it does accept it, then we could see HBAR as the first altcoin ETF out in the USA. So very exciting times ahead here for Hedera. Of course, going back to that crypto summit just briefly, because there's some more potential bullish catalysts that could come out. Of course, I talk about this in a bit more depth in my previous videos, but essentially the ones that are highlighted in green here are things we already know, such as the funding of this US strategic reserve. Of course, the ones that are not highlighted are still questions that might be cleared up in this crypto summit. So first and foremost, remember that Trump tweeted these altcoins here. Maybe we get some clarification as to how this is going to be incorporated in that digital asset stockpile. Because of course, Trump did mention that these altcoins were going to be in there. But if the government does not hold any of these altcoins, then how is that going to be in the digital asset stockpile? Hopefully some clarification would be bullish for the market. On top of that as well, exploration of budget neutral strategies to potentially grow the reserves. If there's a lot of discussion about growing the potential reserves that the government have, again, that's going to be very bullish for crypto. If they're constantly adding Bitcoin into their Bitcoin reserve, that's going to reduce the supply. Bitcoin is going to go up, and altcoins like Hedera are going to follow suit as well. And the two most important things, in my opinion as well, is the tax breaks. There's a good chance that they mentioned these tax breaks in that crypto summit. Is there zero capital gains tax on crypto? Is it just going to be US based crypto, or is that for any cryptocurrency? Of course, if that's announced, that's going to make crypto more of an attractive investment for more people, and that's going to be very bullish for the market. Regulatory framework, same thing as well. If there's clear regulatory framework announced in this crypto summit, or at least a roadmap of one, it's going to be clear it's going to be clearer what people can and cannot do with crypto. There's going to be less risks involved with investing into crypto, and therefore that's going to be very bullish on the markets. So that's happening right now, that crypto summit. Hopefully we'll know the answer to these questions in a few hours time when that summit wraps up. So that was the news here. Of course, now going on to the price charts here of Hedera, just to have a look at what is going on. And of course, if we take a look at the 1-day chart here on Hedera, these are the fib levels that we are watching. This is telling us where we could potentially see places of support and resistance for the price here on Hedera. So as you may have seen, there was a nice little pump just over the past day on Hedera. That was obviously the Swift partnership news and the ETF filing from Grayscale that pushed the prices up here on Hedera. Of course, the anticipation for the crypto summit may have fed into that as well. But right now we're chilling right by that 0.786 fib. And I'm kind of watching that quite dearly, because if we start to break above it, this would be quite significant in my opinion, because as you can see in this region, it was a clear support for the price. So this can be seen as a support resistance flip. If we continue this bullish momentum in the upwards direction, which by the way, guys, we have quite a lot of, you can see the MACD is clearly showing us this bullish momentum. So given this crypto summit does go well and we do find some nice answers to those questions, we should see Hedera continuing to go up. And of course, if we can break past this 0.786 fib, I'm really looking at the previous high as the next target, 40 cents in the short term here on Hedera. Of course, like I say, that's contingent on this crypto summit doing well. Bitcoin starting to go up as well, pumping up past 90,000 here. That should do very, very well here for Hedera. Of course, in 2025, if we can continue pumping past 40 cents here, the next levels that I'm looking at follow suit along these Fibonacci levels. You can see these three are the most important ones for me. 1.272 fib there lies at 73 cents. The 1.414 fib at just over $1 there, maybe a decent place to take some profits if you're holding Hedera for this bull run. And the long-term target here, the golden fib, 1.618 there, is sitting at roughly $1.62. So this is my ultimate target here for the time being of Hedera. Of course, we've seen the momentum here on Hedera is bullish. We just need this crypto summit to pass, let the dust settle from that, and I think we could really start to see the next leg up here on Hedera. Of course, although I am bullish here on Hedera, I also want you guys to be prepared for a potential shakeup in the markets as well. It's always good to be prepared for both scenarios. So if we do see prices fall a little bit, maybe the crypto summit doesn't live up to the hype, then what we could see in the shorter term here on Hedera is we get rejected at 0.786 fib, and then hopefully we see a strong support there at the 0.618 fib. Just going back on the 1 day there, maybe we see something like this. Of course, 0.618 fib there looks like a strong support here on Hedera at 16 cents. Of course, as you guys can see, used as a resistance a few times in this area, and it was close to the supports of these two wicks as the price came down there previously. So we should see a strong support from this level, and that could be a great place to add, basically buy the dip if you are already holding Hedera here, because this could be a good place for a reversal here on Hedera and for it to start heading higher. And of course, just generally on top of the charts as well, some other reasons why I'm particularly bullish outside of Hedera is the fact that the fear and greed index is still at 30 at the moment. That indicates that there is fear in the markets, and of course, as the saying goes, buy the fear and sell the greed. So if you're looking for a time to add Hedera, now is not a bad time anyway, in my opinion. Of course, on top of that as well, one of the main charts that I'm looking at here that does have a lot to do with my bullishness is this total crypto market cap chart. Of course, if you have a look on here, this was a clear cup and handle pattern in my opinion. We saw a 3-year long cup, we saw a 6-month long handle, and we saw a clear breakout to the upside. The price even came down to retest the resistance of this cup formation on the crypto total market cap. And what we should see as a price target, or a market cap target, should I say, of this pattern is the $10 trillion mark. So that's roughly 3.5x from where the market cap currently is. Of course, we can see that as the crypto market on average going up 3.5x. So coins like Hedera that have quite a bullish outlook should be able to outperform the average crypto. And so therefore, I personally think that $1.60 should be easily attainable for Hedera in 2025. Of course, if the prices can get close to there and continue to shoot upwards, then we can even adjust the price targets to make even higher predictions here on Hedera. But for now, $1.60 is the main target that I'm looking for. Of course, hopefully we get those ETFs approved here on Hedera, and maybe we see more information come out between that Swift partnership. Hopefully that's going to add some bullish catalysts here to Hedera going into this bull run in 2025. So that's pretty much all I have to say on this video about Hedera. Let me know down in the comments if you are holding Hedera and what your personal price targets are for Hedera in 2025. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.